Airbnb family, we need to have a conversation. I've had thousands, not thousands, but maybe hundreds of messages over the last 10 days from all of you trying to remove reviews. And I can tell you that, yeah, it sucks that you got reviews that need removing. And many of you have told me your stories in exhaustive detail about these reviews and how they're terrible or retaliatory. And some of you I believe. But I can tell you that since my last video about review removal, I've thoroughly tested this. I've tested it on my own, I've tested it on my students, and I can tell you what works. And I've got bad news for a lot of you. A lot of your reviews do not deserve to be removed. And I'm sorry to tell you that. But for the cases that you can remove them, some of you are doing this very much wrong still. So let's get down to brass tacks on what you can do. And the first thing is we need to talk about the anatomy of Airbnb's review removal system. I gave you 2 steps, and there's going to be a third in this video. I've got new data for you, okay? First off, there is a link in the description for you to be able to just go straight to review removal. Some of you are having a hard time finding that, and Airbnb made it impossible to remove these things. So I just put the link in the description of the video for you guys so you can use it. My name is Sean Rocky Geach. I've been a host for 10 years. Welcome to our world of review removal. The first thing you need to know is Airbnb makes you choose between one of 5 things. And this is where I think a lot of you guys are getting tripped up, is there are multiple reasons why we can remove any one review. And I like to argue multiple points. But Airbnb has an AI-driven system. And Airbnb is trying to claim that their system isn't just AI. They try to say it's not AI, but we know that to be true because Airbnb claimed that. They actually reported that. I think what's happening is they've got an AI filter on the front, and then they do manual review on the back, okay? And so what we need to get by is we need to get by the AI filter in the beginning in order to get our case even heard. If they have humans looking at this at all, we got to do that. But my students have had success in the way that I thought they would, which makes me believe it's still 100% AI. I think it's quite possible. So first thing you need to know is Airbnb gives you 5 reasons that you can try to remove a review. It's irrelevant, it's retaliatory, it involves coercion, stuff like that. And if any of you guys have a hard time, thank you. Thank you, Fletch. I've been working on the hair. If anything's wrong with audio or anything, just let me know. But I think right here in these 5, we need to do one thing correctly, which is first we need to take a screenshot of some evidence. I think the screenshot alone forces it to get reviewed at a higher level because we submitted evidence with this, okay? And then we need to pick one that doesn't create this if-then scenario in Airbnb's review removal system. So for example, if you say that this involved coercion or incentivization, right? You say this review should be removed and you select that option and you submit some evidence. The AI might be able to read through your evidence and decide if they agree that coercion was involved, or that it was retaliatory, or that it's irrelevant, or it goes against the policy in some other way. I think that this is where some of you are getting knocked off, where you guys are clicking that it violates the policy and you guys aren't uploading evidence a lot of times, or you guys are just kind of writing your explanation. We're going to get to that in a second. And that alone, Airbnb looks at it and goes, nope, we don't need further review. So we need to create a compelling argument, but we need to create an argument that looks like it needs further review. And I like the coercion one. I think the pressure incentivization one is kind of like a high stakes one that Airbnb goes, oh, it's possible that the guest pressured the host into something. So a guest wanted a refund for something and you didn't give them a refund and then they responded. Based on Airbnb's writing, I can check this right now, I just read it, retaliation by their definition is actually if you enforced a house rule and then they gave you a bad review. So somebody wanting a refund and then you denying that refund and then them giving you a bad review isn't retaliation in their world, but it could arguably be coercion or incentivization, okay? So some of you are actually misclassifying that. So this might actually be the one fix that'll help you guys go forward. Retaliation is if you held a policy and they are mad that you enforced a rule, okay? So then you upload your screenshot. You should have at least one screenshot with every review removal request, just so that way Airbnb's, they may have an AI that can read these photos. That's what I'm assuming they do. But even if they have a human review some stuff, they might still use an AI in the front. And I believe that it's possible that if they don't have an AI reviewing everything, that the photo upload would then automatically jam you into a higher level of review because somebody needs to look at your photo evidence, right? Now, here's where almost all of you have screwed up. In the messages that you have sent me, I've had a lot of you say, I know that this should get removed. And I say, well, tell me what's up. Like, well, I feel it's retaliatory because they said that they called the police, but the police said there was no police report. And this happened on Tuesday. And then by 5 p.m., this and that. And that's where you lose Airbnb. I just told a story. I'm like trying to put it all together. I'm trying to connect the dots. When you go to remove a review, you cannot speak in that language. Like, that's one of the things. You need to speak as if you're talking to a 5-year-old, and you need to use exact computational language. This is what we can bring in from the last video, guys, is if we're talking to a computer doesn't care about our stories. They don't care about stories. Computers don't get entertained. They don't get caught in suspense, right? We're like, well, let me tell you what happens next. So many of you guys have this let me tell you what happens next approach to your review removal, and it's not working out. People don't care about your stories, right? We need to argue as if it's like a courtroom. And what I would like you guys to do is to revisit the kitchen sink idea, because the kitchen sink is working, okay? And I'll talk to you about that in a second. The kitchen sink idea is to list every possible reason why a review, any review, could get removed. You have a long list. You say the guest never stayed. Any guest who has not stayed is not allowed to leave a review. The guest is retaliating because I enforced checkout time or check-in time. Or the guest is retaliating because I enforced quiet hours. The guest is retaliating because I enforced a maximum guest policy, right? You could say that the review includes sensitive information that that has implications of people's privacy or safety and should be removed for privacy and safety concerns. You could say that the guest attempted to coerce you out of into a refund. The guest tried to pressure you into a refund or tried to incentivize you. You can have a list of all these different things that would get a review removed, and you make a template. And you just use that template, and then in addition to all the generic ones, you'd actually add in your claims. And this would be kitchen sinking. And the way we format this, and this is what's working at Cracking Super Roast, is we say, we are requesting the removal of the review associated with XYZ reservation, and these are statements of fact. And then statement of fact 1, guest did not stay, even though they did, all right, because we're using a template. Statement of fact 2, guest is retaliating because we enforced check-in and check-out times, even though they might have checked in on time or whatever, still using a template. And we've got 10 things that we may or may not actually have a claim on, but we give them all to the AI. And then 11, 12, 13, and 14 might be new. Guest lied in their review stating that the home only having 1 bathroom is inconvenient for 4 people. That's something one of you guys have said recently we had an issue with. And you could then, with that one, state that it is misleading because some groups of 4 are fine with having 1 bathroom, and this review paints the home in a negative light in an attempt to damage the business, right? You could actually write it that way. And like 12, 13, and 14 could be all other things, like fresh stuff. But you send the entire template, and at the bottom of it, though, you say, if any of these statements of fact are true, the review must be removed for any 1 violation of Airbnb's policy. If you have any other questions, anything else I can teach you, I would love to teach you, as always. We just cracked 300,000 subs a few days ago. We're the biggest Airbnb channel on the planet. It's the coolest thing, and I love you guys for being here. Thank you so much. Yeah, that's all I got today. So thank you so much for watching all the way through to the end, and I'll see you on the other side.